and welcome back to Body Positive Pilates. Today I have a HIIT inspired session for you, which is high intensity interval training. So how this will work is I will have 2 different exercises in 4 different sets. So firstly we'll start with our inchworm, and then secondly we'll have our mountain climbers. We'll start with a HIIT interval and then do 5 exercises afterwards, and then we'll repeat the same sequence 4 times. So you can go ahead. We are going to start in standing with a few breathing exercises, and then we can get into our HIIT session. So go ahead, let's get up into standing and we can go ahead and get started. Okay, standing on our mats, we'll start with a few breaths in. Take the arms out to the side, breathe in, lift and reach the chest up to the sky, and then exhale, forward fold over. Hold this for a breath in, and when we exhale we want to stack the spine back up, one bone at a time, with the head coming up last. Circle the arms back up, breathe in, lifting through the chest, and exhale, roll back down. Breathe in to hold the stretch, and on the exhale, stacking the spine back up. We'll go for one more, circling the arms up as we breathe in, and then exhale, roll back down. Hold for a breath in, and the last one, rolling back up. We are going to take the right shoulder, circle it down and around, then glide down the back of that same leg, let the top arm join up, rolling back to the center, and then stacking the spine back up. We'll round and circle the left shoulder, gliding down the left side of the body, let the top arm follow, bringing the body back to center, and then stacking the spine back up. We'll go for 2 more each way, taking that shoulder back around, gliding down the side of the body, coming back to center and roll it up, head coming up last once again, and switch over the other way. We'll go for 1 more to each side after this, starting with the right side, circling, gliding down the back edge of the leg, bringing the weight back to the center, rolling back up, and the last one to the left. Let's circle that shoulder back, glide down the side of the body and bring it to center, and then finally stacking the spine back up. Alright, we'll be going into our first HIIT session. There are 3 ways to do this. I'll show you all 3 ways. The one that we'll be doing today is rolling down onto the mat, walking into your plank, and then hiking the hips back up to the sky, walking to the feet and rolling back up. You can make this easier by staying in your plank, and from there on just lifting the hips into the air and back to plank, and you can repeat this for the whole 30 seconds. Otherwise, taking it up a notch, lifting the one leg up, rolling into walking, place the leg down and switch, lift the other leg up, walking into your plank and walking back up, and then place the foot down. So for the purpose of today's video, I'll be doing it in the middle one, so keeping both my feet grounded. Let's go ahead, 30 seconds, here we go. Taking yourself down, walking into your plank, hold for a second, hiking the hips up towards the sky and place, get back up into standing, rolling down, walking into plank, lifting the hips and walking back up. Let's go for a few more, rolling it down, walking it out, bring the hips up and stack the spine. Here we go, a few more seconds left, reaching out and walking back up, and this is the last one. You can roll down, staying in your plank. We are going to lower the knees down to the floor, and from there on turn onto our side. Now you have a few options here. For today's purpose I am going to come up onto my elbow, but if you feel comfortable to, you can lie flat down on the floor if this is your preferred position for today. But I'm going to come up onto my elbows. I want to lift through my rib cage and then just place the tips of my fingers very lightly against my head. I'm going to just adjust myself on my mat, making sure my feet are slightly ahead of my shoulders. Keep lifting through that rib cage. Once again, don't let the rib cage sink in, and let's go for our lift and lowers. We'll bring the leg up and then tap it back down. We'll go for a few more, I think about 6 and 5, 4 and 3. Keep lifting, don't let that rib drop as we lift the leg. Last 2 and 1. From there on, we'll keep the leg up in the air, and we are going to flex the foot, bend the knee, and then imagine yourself doing a slow kick out. Point the legs, bring it forward, flex the foot, take the heel back and point, stretch out, flex, back, point, lengthen, flex, back, point, lengthen. 4 more, 3, 2 and 1. From there on, keep the length, and we are going to come in to our circles. So taking that leg back, we'll circle for 8 and 7, 6 and 5. Keep those abdominals active, keep lifting through the rib cage, and we'll go for 2 and 1. Let's switch our circle over the other way, bring it towards the front. Once again, lifting through that rib cage, keep lengthening through the toes as we circle for a few more over here. And we've got to lift, reactivating that core. Keep that core active, keeping the upper body steady, and release. Let's lower down and switch over the other way. Once again, you can lie straight down on your arm, or as we just did previously, you can come up onto your elbow. I just want to adjust my mic so that it's out of the way. So this would be lying down. Our legs are slightly ahead of the hips. And if you are on your elbow, we just want to touch the fingertips to the head lightly. Keep lifting through that rib cage. Our toes are just slightly ahead of our hips. And let's start with our lift and lower. Bringing that leg up as we breathe in. Exhale as we lower down. We've got about 7 to go. And 6, 5. Keep lifting up through that rib cage. Don't let the rib cage sink in as you lift that leg up. Keep the elbows just out wide to the side, and we are lifting for another few more. And 2 and 1. Keep it there. Let's flex the foot, bend the knee, take that heel back and point straight and back out. Heel back, point forward, flex, back, reach, kick. Another 4 and lengthen. 3 and lengthen. Nearly there. 2. Keep lifting through that rib cage. Imagine a string pulling that lower rib up. And we've got our last one. Keep reaching out, and from here on, we'll come on over into our circle, circling that leg back. Keep reaching through the toes. Keep lifting through the rib cage. Don't sink into your movement. Let's go for another to the front. Let's switch to the front, switching over and keeping that lift. Keep lengthening through the toes. Keep the elbows wide. And 4, 3, 2 and 1. You can go ahead, lower your leg, and we'll come into our second HIIT movement for the day. You can come into all fours. From there on, step yourself into plank. You can decide which tempo you want to do. You can go for just a slow walk, bringing the knees in slowly. You can also go for a little bit of a jog, and also a little bit faster into a run. So you choose what works best for you. Let's start with our 30 seconds. All right, you can choose your tempo. Let's go. Breathing in and out, in and out. We should be nearly about halfway. Just keep pushing through, bringing those knees through the arms. Keep going, nearly there. Last 3 and 2 and 1. Lower the knees to the floor, sit back onto your heels for just a short moment of active recovery. And then go ahead, bring yourself over onto your back. You can decide to stay up on your elbows if you feel uncomfortable to be lying down on your back, and then you'll just be performing the leg movements. Otherwise, you can join me. We'll lower down onto the floor, making sure our pelvis is in our neutral position. We'll reach the arms up above the shoulders, and from there on, keeping the shoulders relaxed and the neck tension free, we want to bring the legs into our double tabletop. Now, if you are only joining us for the first time, we want to make sure that your rib cage is drawing in towards your mat and that your belly stays nice and flat. Your hips are always in that neutral position. So if you had to tilt your pelvis backwards and forwards, you would just stay stable in the center. From there on, we'll go for our hundreds. We want to lift the arms up and forward, working through the upper abdominals. From here on, we want to keep the belly flat. We don't want the belly bulging. And let's start pulsing those arms up and down. We'll breathe in, 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. In, 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now for the next breath, we want to reach those legs out. So on the next exhale, you reach the legs forward, and on the inhale, bring them back to center. We'll go for about 2 more breaths like this, and in, reaching out, and in. And for the last few breaths, we are going to keep the legs reaching outwards and keep pulsing, lifting a little bit higher through those upper abdominals, keeping the lower belly flat. Breathing in, 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good. Now go ahead, bring your right knee into your chest. We'll hold for 2 counts and then switch over the other way. Pulse for 2, 1, 2, switch, 1, 2, switch. You can go ahead and place your head down onto the floor if you feel uncomfortable with your head and shoulders in this lifted position. We'll go for about 3 more each way, and 2, and 1 more, and then go ahead and bring the knees, both of them, into your chest. We'll go for our double leg stretch. Feel free to lower your head down onto the floor if you feel the need to, and then just perform the arm movements, reaching out. Circle the arms around, bringing the knees to the chest. Pause, and then lengthen both the arms and the legs out. Circle around, knees in, reach out, hold, around and in, reach out, hold, around and in. Keep going, keep lifting the upper body off the floor. Try and get the shoulder blades away, and just going for our last 2, and in, and 1, and in. Lower your head and shoulders down to the floor, and the same with the legs. We are going to go into our shoulder bridge. So when you feel your feet, you want to make sure that you are feeling your big toe, your little toe, and the outer corners of the heel. You want to feel your weight spread throughout all those points, keeping your pelvis in that neutral position. So if you had to tilt your pelvis backwards and forwards, just coming into that center. And when we come up into our shoulder bridge, keeping those hip bones level all the way up, and then all the way down. Exhale to lift, inhale to hold, exhale to lower, and inhale, prepare. We'll go for about 4 more, and lift and roll back down. 3, hold and roll back down. Last 2, keeping those hips level on the way up, level on the way down. Last 2, and lower, 1, and down. Alright, with this next one, you've got a few options. You can decide to just lift up and down, or if you want to join me, we'll go for our leg lowers and lifts. We'll flex the leg down, bring the thighs together, and point the leg to lift. Once again, you can just keep the leg up in the air and just go for your lift and lowers like we did previously, only with single leg. We've got about 4 more to go, and up, 3, and up. Last 2, lift, 1, lift, lower the hips back down and switch the legs. Here we go once again, having the option to just go with your lift and lower, or joining me, we'll go for our leg lowers and lifts. Flex the heel, bring the thighs parallel, keeping those hips level as we go for another 5, and lift, flex down, point, lift, 3, up, 2, up, last 1, lift and release and lower. We'll come into our third HIIT session. We'll lower or turn ourselves over onto our bellies, and then from there on walk ourselves back into our inchworm. Let's go ahead, walk it up all the way into standing, and we've got 30 seconds of our inchworm to go. Ready? Let's do this. Rolling down towards your mat, walking forward into plank. Lift the hips into the air as we walk it back and roll back up. Chin to the chest, round all the way to the floor. Walk it into plank. Shoulders and hips aligned. Hips up as we walk it up. We've got about 30 seconds, 20 seconds to go. Bring it into your plank. Walk it up into standing. There we go. Last one. Hold it in your plank over here. Lower the knees to the floor, and then we'll come onto our bellies. Alright, on your belly, you have the option to straighten your hands out to the front of your mat, then press into the forearms to lift the chest away from the floor. But we want the shoulder blades drawing down the spine and away from the ears. So be careful to hunch the shoulders into the ears, get that nice beautiful space. We want to imagine the chest pressing forward and lifting, and then the belly button is drawing up and away from the floor. You can also decide, if this is too advanced for you, just to lower your head onto your hands, your forehead onto your hands. From here on, we'll go for our swimming legs. So if you are up on your forearms and you are lifting that belly away, we want to keep that lift in the belly as we squeeze and lift the right leg away from the floor and release back down, squeezing the left glute, lifting the leg away from the floor and release. We're going to go for about 6 each side, so let's go 12, and we've got another 5, switch, and 4, switch. And when we move, we want to avoid the hips falling into the floor. We want to keep the pubic symphysis drawing into your mat while we lift the leg up and away from your body. Last one each way. And now go ahead, squeezing both bums, glutes, lifting both legs up from the floor. Keep drawing that belly button up and away from your mat. And let's go for fast little swimming legs. Quick, 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 keeping that upper body nice and steady. Keep length through the spine. And 4, 3, 2, 1. Keep lifting those legs. Turn the heels facing towards one another. We'll tap the heels together and take the legs apart. Tap the heels together and take the heels apart. Think about Dorothy in the Wizard of Oz tapping her red heels, I think it was, together, and then release. And we'll go for another 3 taps. 2, 1 more, and release the legs back down. This time we'll bring the opposite arm and leg lifting away from the floor and lower back down. So if you've been on your forehead and your hands, you can reach both arms out to the front. Keep lengthening through the fingertips and the toes, lifting the belly away from the floor. And then we've got the opposite arm and leg lifting and release and lower. Switching over the other way and lower. We've got 4 and down, 3, down, 2, and after this last one we'll go ahead, lift both arms, both legs up and away from the floor. Keep drawing that belly button upwards towards your spine, and let's swim, swim, swim. Quick little swimmers. Keep lifting through the belly, reaching through the arms and the legs. And 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring yourself up onto your elbows. And with this exercise, I want you to avoid dropping your lunch of this afternoon or your breakfast of this morning down to the floor. We want to lift the belly away from your mat. We want to nearly draw the pubic bone and the sitting bones in towards our mat. And from there on, we're going to go for our single leg kick. We're going to do a bit of footwork with this. So when you bring your heel to your hip, we want to flex and point, flex and lower. Switch the legs. Flex and point, flex and lower. Keep drawing your lunge away from the floor. Keep the shoulder blades broad and the collarbones smiling. And we'll just switch from side to side. Flex, point, flex, lower, flex, point, flex, lower. 3. And if this feels uncomfortable for you on your elbows, you are more than welcome to go ahead and lower down onto your hands and your forehead. Last one on the other side. And then go ahead and lower back down. Swing your arms behind you. Interlace your fingers and place your left cheek down on the floor. We'll bring both legs together. Squeeze those inner thighs. Bring those heels back to the hips. So pulse for 2 and then lengthen the legs out. We want to lift and reach the arms backwards. Lower onto your right cheek as we pulse the heels in for 2 and then lengthen and lift through the arms, getting the chest up and away from the floor, and lower. Switch to the left cheek, pulse for 2, reach out, switch, pulse for 2, reach, lift and lengthen. We'll go for 1 more each way. Reach and lengthen. Last one. Keeping that belly active and lower back down. We're going to push back up into our 4th part of our HIIT sequence. So pressing back up into plank, we'll go for our next set of mountain climbers. Alright, lifting into your plank, you can decide what speed you want to use. Here we go, let's go. Running, you can decide to walk or jog or run. Just bring those knees through the arms as we stay over here in our mountain climber for the next 10 seconds. And nearly there. Here we go, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and come into your all fours. Sit back onto your heels for just a quick active recovery. And then bring yourself back over into all fours. All right, from here on, we'll do a bit of glute work. So we'll first start with our cat-cow. So just getting your breath back or your heart rate slowing down slightly. We're going to round the back, draw the belly button in towards the spine, and then pressing the sitting bone outwards, letting the belly sink to the floor as we lift through the head and the chest. And then switch back into your angry cat and switch into your cow. We'll go for 2 more. And last one. Go ahead, bring your body back to neutral. We are going to start with the leg facing closest to your camera or your screen. So reach that leg outwards and we'll go for a few lift and lowers. Remembering to keep the belly active, to not sink the belly into the floor, and then keeping length through the spine. Let's go. Squeeze that glute, lift, lower, tap, lift, tap. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, hold, and we'll do little pulses. Let's go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Keep drawing up through that belly. 3, 2, 1, and now for the big one. We'll lift the leg up, swing it over to the side, tap, lift, tap to the back, lift to the side, lift to the back, keeping your weight spread evenly between your two arms, so only go as far as you feel comfortable today. Let's go for another 4 and lift, 3 and lift, 2, back, 1 and back. From there on, we are going to open up towards the screen, towards the camera. We'll come into this side kneeling position, and from there on, we're going to bend the arm so that the fingertips just touch the back of the head, and let's go into our lift and lowers, keeping that belly active. We'll go 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and hold. We'll go for our same side series we did on the ground. So flex the foot, take the heel back to the glutes, and point and straighten back out. Flex, back, point, kick, flex, back, point, kick. Breathing in and out and in. Last 2, take it back and lengthen. Last 1 and lengthen. Circles. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. To the back. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring it down. Bring yourself back into your all fours, and let's go ahead and switch over the other way. If you want to just relieve any tension from the neck or the shoulders, just take this moment, switching the neck from left to right, getting everything back into place so that we can go on to the other side. All right, taking the other leg, reaching it out, keeping the elbows soft, the shoulders broad. Let's go. 8 lifts and lowers. Squeeze that glute, lift and lengthen, and tap and reach and tap. We'll go 6. Belly stays active. Another 4. Breathe in and out. 2 and out. 1 more. Hold. 10 little pulses up and down. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. You can do it. 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower. Now for the big one. We want to keep that belly active as we lift. Swing that leg around. Lift and back. Lift. Swing. Lift and back. Once again, only goes far as you feel comfortable, while keeping that weight evenly spread between your left and your right arm. Last 4. Lift back. 3. Lift back. We'll go 2 and back and 1 and back. Beautiful. Open up to the side. If you're facing away from me, that's perfectly fine. Otherwise, you can just twist yourself around facing this way. We'll go for our lift and lowers. Bring the hand to just lightly touch the side of the head with the fingertips, and let's go. 8 and tap. 7, tap. 6, 5, 4, 3, nearly there. 2 and 1. Now for our kicks. Flex, bend, point, straighten, flex, bend, point, straighten. We've got 6. Whew. And just notice how the one side maybe differs from the other. I know it's definitely the in my case that's the effect. So we'll go for another 3 and reach, 2 and reach, 1 more, and you can feel free to take a break whenever you need to. Let's circle back. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and try and lift a little bit higher. I'm struggling so bad. Let's go to the front. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, upper body nice and steady. 2 and 1, and then go ahead and bring it down. All right, so we don't have another HIIT session to go, so let's take it into our cool down. We are going to start in our downward dog with our mountain climber. We used a lot of effort from the calf to spring from side to side, so you can bring your hands underneath your shoulders, your legs hip width apart, and let's just press ourselves up. We're bringing the chest in towards the legs and the hips towards the sky, and just march those legs out one at a time, feeling a beautiful stretch in the calf as we press that heel to the floor, and switch and feel the same on the other side. So we'll just walk it out a few more times over here. All right, and last one to each side, and then bring it back into center. We are also work a lot through those hips, coming from our plank into our pike, and also with our abdominal work. So you can bring the one leg to the front and the other one just underneath you. The foot is slightly ahead of the knee, and just sink into this forward stretch. So tuck your tail feathers inwards, bring your hips towards your front heel, and we'll just hold for a few seconds. Also just create length through the upper body, so we don't want to slouch into the stretch. We want to keep lifting through the chest. If you find it in yourself, we can go ahead and bring that back leg, the heel, in towards the glutes. If this is not meant for you today, you can go ahead and just stay in the previous stretch. From there on, slowly lower the leg back down. We'll take the hips back, straighten out the front leg, flex that foot, and just sink into a nice hamstring stretch. We use the hamstrings quite a bit when we roll up back into standing while stacking up that spine. All right, and also in our shoulder bridges. From there on, we are going to come into our pigeon stretch. So you can place your hands down on the floor, tuck your leg in underneath you, and reach the back leg along the back edge of your mat. We're going to stay up here for now, so I want you to draw in the belly away from the front of the front legs. Keep lifting through the chest. Just sink your hips nice and deeply into the stretch. And on the next exhale, we'll forward fold, coming onto our elbows or flat onto your head if necessary, and just hold the stretch for a few more breaths. Opening up the hips from the anterior and posterior aspects. Slowly come back onto those arms. I want you to sit on the front legs glute, so tilting over away from me or towards me, depending on which leg is forward, and just swing the legs around, sitting cross-legged. And from this position, we want to keep a nice flat back. Walk forward with the fingertips, and then at your furthest points, once you feel you want to start rounding in that back, you can just go ahead and forward fold over your legs, and just hold this for a few breaths, releasing the sitting bones. Feel the space widening between them, and just breathing into the backs and the side of the rib cage. And the exhale, sink a bit deeper into your stretch. And the next exhale, we'll come back up, stacking the spine, and we'll come into our lunge on the other side. With the feet slightly ahead of the knee, we'll tuck those tail feathers inwards and reach the hips closer towards the front heel. Just holding this, once again, keep lengthening through the spine, lifting through the chest, and just holding the stretch for a few more breaths. From there on, if you are able to, you can go ahead and bring the back heel in towards your hip. Otherwise, you are welcome to stay in the first stretch. All right, holding for one more breath, and then slowly lowering that leg back down to the floor. We are going to hinge the hips backwards, straighten out this front leg, flexing the foot, and from there on you can go into a forward fold. If this is not where your body is at today, that's perfectly fine. If you just need to stay up in that high kneeling, that's fine. From there on, we are coming into our pigeon, so you can go ahead, bend this front leg in underneath your upper body and reach the back leg to the back edge of your mat. Staying up in this elevated position first, lengthening through the spine, lifting through the chest. And on the next exhale, we can go ahead, lower the upper body down to the floor, coming either onto the elbows or onto the forearms. And just hold this for a few more breaths. Coming back up onto the arms, we are once again sitting on the front leg's glute on the bum, and then bringing the back leg around and forward. From there on, coming into a nice spine twist, placing the opposite hand to knee, and just twisting that same way, using that front hand to take your twist a little bit further. Your head can also face towards your back, and the free hand reaching to the back edge of the mat behind you. We'll hold for one more breath, and then switching the hands to the other side, opening up your stretch, reaching the back end behind you, and let the head form part of the stretch. We'll hold for 2 more breaths. And then finally bring it back to center. Just where you are, let's open up the hands up to the ceiling, placing them on top of the knees, and just take the ears from the one shoulder up and over towards the other side. You want to keep the chin more or less tucked in towards your neck, so we don't want that chin flaring outwards. Keep it tucked in just a little bit. And we've got about 1 more to each side. Last one the other way. And from there on, bringing the head back to center, let's go ahead, look over our right shoulder. Breathe in, exhale, bring it back. Inhale, switch over. Exhale, bring it back. We'll go 1 more each way. And last one, sitting up nice and tall throughout all these movements. And from there on, just circle the head to the front, around, looking over the shoulder. Circle back the other way. And just 1 more each way, over to the one side. And switch back to the first side. Bring the head back to center. And I want to thank you for joining me today. I hope we'll be seeing you in the next class. Have a body positive day.